The injury that you had.
I know.
Yeah.
Everybody said that. I've had a lot of phone calls. That's what I was on the phone doing now. But hopefully he'll be all right. They put a rod in it, so he should be able to come back. And, I'm willing to help him any way I can. I think there's two sides to rehabilitation. There's the mental and the physical. The physical they'll take care of, and the mental, I think he's going to be fine. Being young and have it happen, he'll come back and I think be terrific.
What were you thinking when you saw it?
I got sick to my stomach. I really did. I got chills, and it brought back a lot of, I guess you could say, a lot of memories that weren't very pleasant for me.
Right, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, and you relive the whole experience again.
Yeah.
It's just like all of a sudden, people ask me all the time how my leg is, but then all of a sudden the experience comes back when you see something like that happen, and your heart goes out for the kid. Yeah, it really does.
Is that ever something like, when you played after that happened, did you still feel it like your whole career?
I never played, so I never had a chance to come back from it. So for me,
I'm sorry, I totally forgot.
It was the end of a career.
Yeah.
And so I guess because it was the end of a career, it probably stays with you much more than if you were able to come back and overcome it.
Do you think that's something he'll be able to come back from?
I think he will. Yeah, he's young enough. Modern science has gone a long way in 30 years. So you forget how long ago it was that something happened like that. But mine was replayed so much, and I really think it changed the way we view injuries today. Right. And to CBS's credit, I thought they did a terrific job. Just sort of staying away from the injury and just sort of letting the moment play out.
But it went viral, though. The pictures of it went viral online.
I mean, that's the way we are today in society. I mean, everything goes viral. You guys are going to go viral.
Absolutely.
Now, do you feel bad possibly being knocked off the #1 most gruesome injury list?
I would never feel bad about being knocked off of a list. I just, I feel bad for the young man and his family. I mean, and you sort of put into context where they are too. I mean, you're in Louisville. You're the team that's expected to win the championship, and you're an integral part of it. And all of a sudden, you don't get a chance to participate in it. So there's the emotional letdown for him, not being with his teammates. There's the injury factor, which, by the way, really hurts like heck. I got to be honest with you. And then there's the recovery factor that he's going to go through. But the fact that he was able to say something to his teammates, to tell them to win it, tells me that he was very cognizant of what was going on, and that's great. Because I never went into shock when I got hurt either.
Yeah. What do you think is the worst sports injury of all time, personally, if you don't mind answering that question?
I think mine. To be honest with you.
I've seen videos of it. I'm sorry.
Well, there's been a couple.
I just can't watch it.
Mark Mariani with the Tennessee Titans. Tim Crumry had one. Napoleon Callum had one.
Moises Alou
had one. I mean, there have been different players that have gone through the injuries. I think mine was probably the first and most public because it was on a Monday Night Football game. It almost depends on the venue that you get hurt in, the amount of attention that it gets.
Do you think that these sports injuries are like a good argument for like stem cell research to help regenerate bone growth and that sort of thing?
Bone's gonna grow anyway. I mean, I don't know how much faster you want it to grow, so I don't get into the scientific aspect of it. All I know is that I'm sure that the doctors at Louisville and the people that he is going to see will make it better for him. Like I said, the fact that a rod went in is very good. It'll probably keep the length of his leg. And I've watched what Adrian Peterson did this year. I've watched the way Robert Griffin III has come back. So these kids are built different than we were. There's I guess there's something to be said about good nutrition and good genes.
Who do you think is going to be the next big thing next year in football? In the NFL?
Well, I think the San Francisco 49ers, with the acquisition of Anquan Bolden, will probably be a team. I think it's a big upgrade for them in the wide receiver position. So they'll be back. You got to figure the New England Patriots will be back. The Denver Broncos, will be back. I don't necessarily see somebody creeping in there that we haven't talked about before.
Right.
Do you think the Ware injury, like as far as his teammates go, what that does to the team? Do you think that'll boost the team, or do you think it's more of a breakdown?
It's funny. I think really what you saw in that game, the last 6 minutes of that game, was a group of guys that were in shock. His teammates, they were just overcome with emotion, and they were shocked by what happened. And then once they had a chance to settle down in the second half and sort of settle back in and get it going again, you saw the kind of basketball team they are. You just have to give so much credit to Rick Pitino. How do you handle a situation like that? There isn't any coaching manual that says when something major like this happens, this is the way you go about doing something.
Speaking of which, there was talk, and I was watching with a bunch of family, and we were all in shock, and we all turned away from the camera and from the TV. But as far as the, I lost my train. Oh, as far as there's a lot of talk about possibly stopping the game.
I don't.
Is that
you
even
don't
a consideration?
Stop.
In your
No,
mind?
you don't stop the game. You just, you have the medical attention to the individual, and then the game goes on, just like life. The life goes on, and the game goes on, and Kevin's life will go on, and I guarantee you he'll be a part of Louisville next year in their basketball program. I just believe it.
Yeah.
I believe he
Or
will.
redshirt a year, take a year off, and come back.
You don't know. I mean, it's again, Adrian Peterson's the guy that I keep going back. 9 months after the knee surgery that he had, and you look at him as the comeback player of the year, MVP of the year.
Yeah.
He could have either won either one of them. And so when you look at the way medical science has really been developed and evaluated and elevated, I should say, over the last 30 years, there's no telling what these athletes can do nowadays.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you
Sure,
talking
guys.
to us.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks,
Huge fan.
guys.
Thank you
You know what?
You betcha.
My dad buys your product, by the way.
It works.
Yeah.
By the way. And I use it and it works. So yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
I hope I don't have to use it one day, but I will. If I have to.
Inevitably, I hope you live long enough.
Right,
to
exactly.
have to do it.
Yeah,
I want to pick up on something real quick. The concussions in the NFL.
Yes.
Oh,
Have you been approached by that yet, or no? Like,
No, I haven't.
people have to-
I'm not a part of the lawsuit. No.
No, but do you? What is your opinion on that? Because a lot of people are upset that they're softening the game.
And like eliminating the
Well,
kickoff and stuff
I
like
think
that.
I think what both the Players Association and the NFL are really trying to do is make the game safer. And like anything, you have to put something in place to see how it's going to affect the game, how it's going to affect people, and that doesn't happen overnight. Let's face it. In society today, we want instantaneous results with everything. Whether it's implementation of changes, whether it's growth, whether it's athletics, whether it's politics, whether it's medicine, it doesn't matter. We want results right now. And I think when it comes to the concussion issue, when it comes to safety in football, it's something that's not just an overnight cure. It's not an overnight answer. It takes time to get the research together to be able to find out if what they're doing does make the game safer. I certainly know that the helmets that we wore are a whole lot different than the helmets they wear today.
They used to not even wear helmets.
Yeah, go all the way
75
back.
years ago.
Go all the way back, and then I wore a single bar.
Right.
So how nuts was I?
On a more personal, you're in your 60s, right?
Yep.
Do you feel any?
Yes.
You feel some of the.
Yes, I think I feel the result. I feel the results of the game I played, but I also understood the
In your body
consequences.
or
of
in
it.
your mind or
In my
everywhere?
mind, in my body, everywhere.
Did you know that going into it that was a possibility?
There's
for
always a
later, right?
possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, when we all leave this airport and walk out that door, I have no idea what's out there.
Right.
But I know there's a possibility that something could happen.
You have no idea what's in here, actually.
Yeah.
It's scary. Is I have
And when
no
you
idea
walk
what's behind it.
You have no idea what we're breathing in here. You could go home and all of a sudden you feel like I just smoked a pack of cigarettes or something.
You just don't know. I think anything the league can do to make the game safer is not only great for professional football, but for collegiate football, high school football, and Pop Warner football. And I'm a big advocate of kids participating in minor league football programs and high school programs and college programs. I think it teaches you so many great lessons of life that those would be lost if they didn't participate in that.
Would you consider joining that lawsuit?
That's something I'd have to look at. I couldn't give you an answer.
What do you think about the possibility of a woman ever playing in the NFL?
I think there's always a possibility of a woman playing in the NFL. I mean, we have a young lady who was a kicker in college football. I think there was one trying out now.
She tried out and it didn't work out. I think she told us something.
It's just listen. I'm open-minded enough to realize that there are a lot of possibilities for a lot of things that can happen in this world, and I say nothing is impossible.
Yeah. Joe, I love your attitude, man.
Thanks, guys.
Seriously,
Good talk.
thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Good talking to you.
See you later.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Take care.
Thanks, bye.